to the Turnbuckle Taverns YouTube page. Today is another edition of On the Spot. Before we get into that, make sure you guys click on the link in the description below, subscribe to this YouTube page, follow the link to our Pro Wrestling Tee store, our Twitter, our Instagram, and click the bell up in the corner so you know when we're coming back with more video content for you. Now we're going to get into another edition of On the Spot. On the Spot is your turn this week to ask me the question.
Yeah, so you have no idea what I'm about to ask you.
Right.
No preparation.
Nope.
So my on the spot question is, who is, in your opinion, the best underutilized talent in WWE right now?
Best underutilized talent right now?
Right now, not in the past. Who on their roster do you think they're not using right? And if used correctly, they could be a monster star.
That's a really good question because I've not really watched a whole lot of WWE, but I'll be honest, I think man, that's such a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people you could choose because there's a lot of underutilized people in WWE.
I mean, honestly, I think one of the most underutilized right now is it could be Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Owens is underutilized just because he had such a push at the beginning and now we don't see him really in any. I know he's had injuries, but he's back and he's not really doing anything.
Right. I mean, we're talking about a guy who made his debut from NXT onto the main roster by beating John Cena.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he came in with a bang and then, I mean, it's really been very lackluster since then.
Right.
Yeah.
Another person that comes to mind as far as being underutilized, and he's kind of gained this reputation as just being a solid worker and really good at putting other people over. But I think a guy who in AEW or Impact or MLW, this guy would be a top guy, probably a world champion, Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's kind of been for a long time. He's been very underutilized.
He just flounders in the mid card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he'll have a little storyline here and there, but he never really gets that real push behind him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's such a pro wrestler. I mean, just all encompassing. He has the look, he has the charisma, and I don't think that you're right. They don't utilize him to that full potential at all.
No. And as far as newer guys that they have, and I'm not saying he's underutilized because they've given him some big spots lately, but they kind of took the heat away from him very recently. But there's someone that this will never happen to because Vince doesn't see him as this. But to me, if Vince got behind him and they put the entire WWE machine to push this guy,
I have a guess as who I think it is, but
he could be gigantic to me. Otis.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and it's super sad that they took the Money in the Bank contract off of him. I hate that they took, because I was excited when he won the Money in the Bank just because I've always thought he was underutilized. And now he's going back to even being more underutilized.
Yeah, he's feuding with Tucker, which is fine, whatever. But I really think, man, if you put the belt on him, if you put the big belt, the world championship on Otis, or at least had him in a program where he was chasing after it.
Yeah.
It's like putting the belt on Chris Farley. He is the Chris Farley of WWE. Guy cracks me up.
Yep.
He has charisma for days. That, oh yeah, that he always does just slays me. I mean, pops me every time. He is fun to watch when he's even in the, even when SmackDown, before all this Roman Reigns stuff, even when SmackDown was absolute trash,
Yeah.
he was a spot. Like if I turned the TV on, he was on, I would watch it because he cracks me up. He's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree 100%. And I don't think, I mean, he does, I believe he even does a worm dance.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's not to love about that. And I don't know why that's not something that they would not, why they wouldn't let that be the face of the company for a little while.
Right. Yeah. I think
I'm
he's a
not saying he
great.
comes, I'm not saying he comes in and gets the title as a, you know, John Cena, Randy Orton, he becomes that level, but I think he's a fun character to get people into watching.
He could have a couple reigns like Mick Foley.
Right. That's what, yeah.
You know, if a guy built like Mick Foley and had the charisma of Mick Foley can hold the belt a few times, I feel like Otis, why couldn't he hold the belt 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's Vince McMahon. That's what it really boils down to.
Yeah, they don't. I feel like they only push a handful of guys, and then everyone else is just kind of plug and play.
Yep. We get that all the time. And I'll say one guy, I don't even know. I don't remember if he got cut back in the big cuts back in May, but somebody I always enjoyed watching that he never got a push was Bo Dallas.
Yeah. I liked him a lot on NXT.
Yeah. Bo Dallas was somebody that I, you know, when he would come out and do the Bo leave stuff.
Yeah.
And then he would get in the ring, do a move, and then run out and take a victory lap around the ring.
Yeah.
That stuff was great to me.
Another person who's not with the company anymore, but they completely underutilized and dropped the ball on Damian Sandow.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And what's crazy is they did use him for a while and he was so over and then they killed it.
Because he got over by himself. It's like that Mizdow shit he was doing.
Yeah.
The stunt double, that
when he was outside the ring taking the exact bumps that Miz was taking in the ring, I was more interested in watching him than the match.
Oh yeah, he was an entertainer.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, we could go on for days and days about who was underutilized by WWE. Probably half of the people sitting at catering are people who could be superstars if they were booked correctly.
Yeah, that's why I was so happy when they had those. Not happy for the talent. It was during a shitty time, but when all those guys got released, I was like, thank you. Hopefully these guys can find a place where their talents can actually be showcased.
Yeah, when Liberation Day came.
Yeah.
Yeah, they, you know, and most of those guys have had, you know, they've gone on except Cardona. Right. We haven't seen him do anything. We have a video about that. Check that video out. But yeah, I think Kevin Owens and definitely Otis. I agree with you 100% there.
Ziggler, Bobby Roode, even.
Yeah.
And we get, like you said, we could go and rattle off a bunch, but the big one for me is Otis. But yeah. I'm with you on Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens to me should be top guy.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why he's not. I don't know why he was brought in as a top guy and then just that was it.
Yeah, why is he not feuding with the likes of Randy Orton and, you know, I don't know.
Yep. Go home and be a Papa Vince.
Yep.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
It's time to do that, man. You guys leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know who you think is very underutilized in the WWE, and we will be back at you with more videos really soon.